So, yeah, I used to be a welder, no business background. I went through what we call here in Belgium BSO. It's basically trade school and one of the lowest levels of formal education in our system. But today I actually run a lean, high margin marketing agency and I've been doing 10 to 20k months consistently without a normal job since 2022. And in this video, I'm giving you the exact roadmap I followed to get here. Now, basically, to give you some backstory and why I left my 9 to 5 is because for a year I worked in welding, actually in a factory, and it was solid work, but honestly as well very hard work. I used to earn about 2k a month, had a 9 to 5 just every day, going to the factory, hot weather, bad weather, welding. Yeah, it was hard work. And the truth, I wanted more. More freedom, more income, and just overall a better life, like living on my own terms, basically. I wanted to start a business, but I didn't really have any business background, so I just rolled into e-commerce. I actually scaled that business to around 4 to 500k a year in revenue, making around 70 to 80k net annually. Now, eventually, after a couple of years, I think it was 3 to 4 years, I sold that brand for 125k because I was done with it. Like the profit margins were really slim because I was doing around 500k annually and only making like 70 to 80k. So I just sold it. 125k, my first business I built, I sold, I was happy with that. Like it wasn't like life-changing money, but it was enough to go all in on something bigger. Actually, when I built my first e-commerce brand, I was still working at the factory. So just late nights working on my e-com brand, and like in the early morning, I was working at the factory. So it were long days. But then once I sold that brand, I was looking at like, damn, what can I do? What has high margins that I can just start with like no real upfront capital or as minimal as possible? And actually, that's when I found marketing and sales. And our first year, we did about 125k in revenue. And that sounds much lower, but our profit margins were around about 80 to 85%. So that's when I realized like, okay, in the first year, I made 125k with 80 to 85 profit margin. This is the model for starters. Now, here is why I actually always recommend agency work when you're starting out or freelancing work, because it nearly doesn't cost anything to launch and start. Your margins are very high, way better than e-commerce, like 80 to 85%. That's basically unheard of in e-com. And most importantly, like businesses will always need marketing and sales. So if you can help someone make money, they will pay you very well. Simple as that. Marketing and sales, those will never go out of style. Now, what you need to understand if you start agency work or freelancing work is you need to understand the value chain. So before I show you how to make 10k a month, you have to understand this concept, the value chain. If you don't, like you're not gonna make it. So let's say you buy a coffee mug in the store. Before it hits that shelf, a bunch of people have added value. Somebody sold raw materials. A manufacturer actually made that mug. A transporter delivered it, and a store priced it and sold it to you. Each step is value added, is a price increase. And the same thing you have in marketing, sales, or business in general. Let's say for marketing, step 1, you run ads, you generate a lead, you add value. Step 2 is someone, or maybe yourself, books in that lead for an actual sales call. Again, value added. And step 3 is a closer runs that sales call and converts, even more value added. Now, the smartest thing you can do is to always try to go as deep into the value chain as possible. So don't just generate leads, but also book calls. Or don't just book calls, also try to close the sale. Every extra step you control is more money, more leverage into your business. So, all right, now that you know how that works, here are three dead simple ways to hit your first 10K a month using this value chain. Your first option is just lead generation. You run paid ads, you generate leads, and you sell them. You can ask a retainer, let's say 1K, 2K a month, but even more simple is you generate a lead and you just sell it for a markup. Let's say you generate a lead for $20, you sell it for 40. There is almost no risk for a business owner there. Like you can sell this all day, every day. It's so easy because the perceived risk is very, very low. So if you buy it for 20, you sell it for 40, you make 50% margins. And lead generation, let's say you generate 10 leads a day, you're already making 200 a day, basically. So that's 6K a month like that. Now, if you want to increase value and increase profits, turn those leads into booked appointments. Now you're selling appointments for $150, $160 an appointment. Like you can see already like how you can get very high scale with just moving further along into the value chain. Now, option 2 is you just get a setter or a closer or a sales job, basically. You work with an existing business, you set appointments, or you close deals. It basically costs you no money up front, just your time and skill. But the real money is to combine it. You generate a lead, you set a call, and you close the deal. Now you're not just a closer anymore. You're a rainmaker. So you are becoming irreplaceable, as you can see. Like you are just generating revenue and you control the full value chain. That is crazy, crazy valuable. Now, option 3 is you just do retainer-based marketing services. Like you just run paid ads, email marketing, content funnels, whatever your skill is. You can learn this in 2 weeks or less, and you can charge 1,500 or 2,500 a month. You can even combine a retainer with like an appointment fee. This is harder to like sell in the beginning, but you can grow into this. Like if you get more experienced, you get some case studies from like the lead gen you have done or the lead gen and the setting and the closing you have done, then you can move into retainers as well. And if you deliver results, the money will come. This is always the most important thing. Like always look for adding value. Like if you add value, if you make people money, you are gonna make money. Now, I already hear you thinking like, is this all active work? Is this passive? Do I have to do something or is it easy money? And in the beginning, it's gonna be hard work as well, but not as hard as working in a factory. Believe me that. So you'll hustle, you'll DM, you'll cold email, you'll take calls, you'll build landing pages. But once those things click, it gets way more passive than you think. Like I have ad campaigns running that I check once a week and I make 2K a month from that client. Like the systems do the heavy lifting, not me. Now, how do you get your first client then? This is always like a very important thing for people. And I just want you to understand like, if you want to stand out and make more than 95% of people, use the value chain. Add more value. Most people say, I can close for your offer. Okay, but like, what if you said, I'll bring you the leads, I'll book the calls, and I'll close the deal fully done for you. And you only pay me a percentage of each lead, of each appointment, of each closed deal. Like, that is not freelancer work anymore. You're a true asset. And as well, that gets you just much, much higher commissions. Like, let's say a closer, in a good case scenario, you will get 10%. If you control the full value chain, you can ask 40, 50% easily. And that is where you can make a lot of money. Now, timeline-wise, here is what it usually would look like. Like in the first month or two, you'll build your offer, you test demand, you do a lot of cold outreach. What are the best cold outreach methods? I will make another video about that, so you have a good idea on how that would look like and how you can get appointments very cheap, very easily. Now, once you have built your offer and you have tested your demand, in month 3 and 4, you will get around about 3 to 5 clients if you price it well. If you sell just leads and you just generate the markup, 3 to 5 clients is very easy to get in your first months. Then in month 5 to 6, you start to build a system, improve delivery, raise your prices, build a team. And month 6 is just scaling that. Like once you know all your numbers, you can scale that. Your first 2K, you can already do it in like the first month or something like that. If you just know what you're doing, you sell leads, you can easily sell like a 2K package of leads in your first couple of weeks. Like it isn't that hard. I had a lot of like rough months as well. Like some months I would think like I have to go back to my welding job because running a business, it's also stressful, but it's also very fulfilling. Now, the most important thing I think I want you to like remember from this video is just build a solid offer, like remove the risk for the other party in the beginning and just build it up. Like position yourself smart, make some profit, do some grunt work, and before you know it, you have a couple of case studies. You can start asking retainers, or you can work with like very big businesses. And yeah, once you work with like bigger size businesses and you sell leads, that is where you can scale very, very high. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, shoot me a DM. I'll make some couple of other videos about how you can get appointments, how you can start your actual lead generation business. But I think that was it for this video. See you in the next one.